Action.
Shoot.
But when Hitler was asked, "Why are you killing all these Jews? You're doing the history will tell that you killed all these Jews." He said, "Who remembers Armenians? Turkish did the same thing. Turks did the same thing to the Armenians. Nobody remembers them. Why should they remember me bad?" By the way, this area where Armenians were, not Armenia, but outside Armenia, Syria, Lebanon, part of eastern Turkey, was called Cilicia. Cilicia was part of Armenia a long time ago. This is why we had a lot of Armenians over there. Kessab is a remnant of Cilicia in that area. Now Cilicia, of course, is given to Turkey. Turkey owns that whole area. Growing up, it's a small town. Everybody knew everybody. Everybody is a friend of the others, or family friends, or relatives, more or less. Mixed up with each other everywhere you turn. We were not poor, we were not rich, but we were not poor. We had enough. And during the World War II, we had a hard time in Kessab, being a small isolated town. We didn't have anything coming in, but we survived. It was a beautiful resort area, built up hotels and apartments, condos, everything.
During that time, the Armenians were really a despised minority by the Turks. Taxed heavily, they were treated unjustly, they were exploited and abused for, like I said, hundreds of years.
Thousands of years we had border problem with Armenia and Turkey, fights, wars, all the time. All the doctors were Armenians, the pharmacists were Armenians, engineers were Armenians. Turkey had nothing. So this was jealousy by the Turks. Christianity, second time, they said, you become Muslims, you'll survive. Of course, the Christians, Armenians were the first nation to become Christians. They would not give Christianity away, and they were killed for that.
And there would be massacres committed against the Armenians. The worst thing, I would say, though, was when they began to deport the Armenians. And they put them on trains or just had them march hundreds of miles, and they would bring them to the deserts of Syria and just leave them there with no food and no water, and they would just die.
And at one time, they had collected hundreds of thousands of kids with trucks, taking them to the desert. Nobody knew where. And my father was one of them. Halfway escaped from the truck and came back. But most of the others were put in a canyon, threw gasoline on them, and burned them.
I would say, as a result, over a million Armenian people ended up dying as a result of these really horrible murders against them.
From my family, I lost my father's brother, two sisters, and a mother. His father, being in the States at that time, was survived, and my father was survived with two other sisters. 1915, they pushed. 1909, they came and burned Kessab once, in the Turks. They came back, Kessabsis. 1915, genocide started. 3 years later, Kessabsis came back. Now, 100 years later, they did the same thing. So all the rebels came from Turkey with the Turkish help, with the Turkish power, and attacked Kessab. And there were only a few soldiers over there, just border soldiers, and everybody ran. So the Kessabs were notified to leave everything and go. They left everything. They left with their pajamas, with their barefoot. They left their identification card. They left their passport. They left their money. They left everything, and they left. So everything is gone. Whatever was left behind is gone.
I started asking myself questions. If this happened, why the mainstream media wouldn't cover it? Why no one talks about it? Why we would hide something like that from the public view? And honestly, I don't know. There are so many things going on around the world right now. Ukraine is one of the examples that people kind of try to cover. I don't know. It's a good question. I have mixed feeling about this.
American media has gotten to the point where anything that they don't consider important on their agenda just gets brushed off to the side, despite the fact that it might be actually crucial that everyone would know about it and possibly rally behind a cause to stop it.
As a teacher, I'm in a real unique position to, in fact, educate people about what's happening now. And I think it's very important for me to do so.
It's difficult because these are things that shouldn't be happening anymore. These are things that, with the technology that we have and the ability to communicate with others, that we should know about this, and that this shouldn't be something that has reoccurred. That this should be one thing that has happened and we've stopped it, and that's it. No more about it. But it's happened again, and it's scary. It really is.
Now the Kessabs are going back to rebuild. Can we trust the Turks again? This is the third, fourth time.